a podcast network. This is the Life.Style.Live podcast.
Faces you know and a team you can trust. Stories that form your heart. Life.Style.Live. Life.Style.Live.
On this week's episode of the Life.Style.Live podcast, we're celebrating our 15-year anniversary. I got a chance to talk to the first female host of the show, Andi Hauser. I was able to express my gratitude for all of her hard work, and she reflected on her time here and what those first years were like and what life is like now. Take a listen.
Life.Style.Live.
Every idea starts with a problem. Warby Parker's was simple. Glasses are too expensive. So they set out to change that. By designing glasses in-house and selling directly to customers, they're able to offer prescription eyewear that's expertly crafted and unexpectedly affordable. Warby Parker glasses are made from premium materials like impact-resistant polycarbonate and custom acetate. And they start at just $95, including prescription lenses. Get glasses made from the good stuff. Stop by a Warby Parker store near you.
If your dog could talk, they'd beg for Ollie. The full-body tail wag, the excited little hops, the big goofy grin, that's the Ollie effect. Ollie delivers clean, fresh nutrition in 5 drool-worthy flavors, even for the pickiest eaters. Made in U.S. kitchens with highest quality human-grade ingredients, Ollie's food contains no fillers, no preservatives, just real food. With 5 protein-packed recipes like fresh beef with sweet potatoes or fresh turkey with blueberries, even the pickiest eaters can't resist. You might think, dang, my dog eats better than I do. And that's probably true when it comes to Ollie. Dogs deserve the best, and that means fresh, healthy food. Head to ollie.com/Wondery. Tell them all about your dog and use code WONDERY to get 60% off your welcome kit when you subscribe today. Plus, they offer a happiness guarantee on the first box, so if you're not completely satisfied, you'll get your money back. That's ollie.com/Wondery and enter code WONDERY to get 60% off your first box.
Life.Style.Live.
Life.Style.Live is celebrating 15 years. Before the show became the nationally syndicated adventure that you know daily, it was Indy Style, a first of its kind in the market and in the lifestyle space. Joining me now is one of the first hosts of the show, Andi Hauser. Welcome, Andi, so much. I appreciate you making the time for us today.
Oh, my pleasure, Felicia. Thanks so much for having me on. 15 years went by very quickly, and I think I was in the market almost 5 years. So I got about a third of that in. And I'll tell you, when Indy Style launched, there hadn't been anything like it in the Indianapolis market. So we really were starting at ground zero, trying to build something that was relevant to the community. And boy, did we have fun doing it.
Let me tell you, before we go any further, I have to give you your flowers, and I have to say thank you to you as the first female host of the show. And now I am the current female host of the show. Nothing happens in a vacuum. It all happens in the work that everyone puts in every single day, and the work that you do on the show and getting to watch all of that back has been really fun and incredible. So I have to give you your flowers and thank you for your contributions, because if you didn't lay the groundwork, I would not be able to be here today doing absolutely what I love to do. When you got started, I heard this came together relatively quickly, pretty fast. When you first heard about this idea of them doing a lifestyle show, what kind of ran through your mind?
I think you're right. It did come together very quickly. I was in Spokane, Washington at the time, and I was anchoring mornings there. And I remember seeing this job and I applied for it. And it seemed like they were trying to come up with the concept. Okay, so what are we going to do? Now, there have been other lifestyle programs in other markets, but, Indy is unique, and we really wanted to reflect that in our show. So we did everything probably similar today. We did the cooking, we had regular guests, and we had a really star-studded show. We used to have Tamika Catchings on a regular basis. We even had Mike Tyson on, and I remember the minute we got on the air, first thing out of my mouth, I said, well, Mike, you haven't been back to Indy since your incarceration. Well, that probably wasn't the best way to start it. And he goes, you invited me. I'm like, I did. I'm sorry. But after that, we had a great interview, and he hung out and watched the entire show. But, we saw ourselves as trailblazers, and the community, as you know, Hoosiers are very involved in their television product. They want it to look a certain way, they want it to feel a certain way, and they want to be involved. And, that's how we got so many of our local segments. We did the national stuff and the celebrities, but honestly, some of my favorite were the local people.
You know, you're absolutely right. Now that the show is nationally syndicated, we're kind of all over the country. We get to bring that Hoosier hospitality that I've heard about, before I even got here, to people here. I need to know, when was the moment that you realized this is something special? This is something different. We are really impacting people. We're really, because a lot of people think like lifestyle, you mentioned this before we got started, that people think it's just, oh, it's just fun. It's just like,
Mhm.
whatever. And it's just like, no, but actually it is hard because you have to bring yourself to the table and give space for people to be themselves as well.
You do. What's unique about it, as aside from the news, and we both have news backgrounds, was you get a sense you're able to be vulnerable in a different way. People are able to get to know you, and hopefully they either like you or they don't. We love viewers; they have very strong opinions, and it's fine. It's all welcomed. But I think the moment I realized when we really had something special is when we had people coming to us to want to participate in the show. Like, well, I like what you're doing. I have an idea for a cooking segment, or we've got a new product, or, this celebrity wants to be on the show to promote their new movie, right? Because, you used to have a lot of movies that would debut here in Indianapolis. And while it is a nationally syndicated show, we can't forget our home base there in Indy. And so we had so much going on. But it was just to have this flood of people wanting to participate. It was a beautiful thing. And it really, at the time, was a beautiful reflection of the Indianapolis area.
I have to completely agree with you on that. I do have to ask you about something because we've been doing a little throwback Thursdays as we're heading into this 15-year anniversary. And there is a clip out there of you and a baboon.
Oh,
And
did I know?
girl, let me tell you something.
Listen.
I would have packed up and
Mm-mm.
left. That was the last time they saw me. That was crazy. How did you handle
Honey.
it? Tracy like had to put himself physically between you and the baboon. Has it ever happened on live TV for you?
Listen, I have
Anything
got
like
to
that?
say, to this day, I am destroyed when it comes to primates, okay? I cannot be around a primate or a snake, and that's both due to Indy Style. Everything else, I'm totally well adjusted. But I'll tell you what, I will never forget that moment because listen, I think it was Larry Batson who had this baboon, and he's like, "Well, don't make eye contact with it." Well, he told me that in the middle of this segment, and I was like, "Well, excuse, I wanted to look at it. I didn't know you weren't supposed to make eye contact with it." So literally, here comes this furry hand paw over there to grab me, and I was like, "Oh my gosh." Terrifying moment. And I'm almost getting the shakes talking about it because I was like, okay. At the time, the producer was Peggy McClellan. And I remember thinking,
Love Peggy. Peggy, we love Peggy.
Peggy? Yeah. So after the show, I was like, no more primates. I can't do it. I mean, it took everything I had not to get up. But, you don't want to get up in the middle of a show and act like a big chicken. But yeah, that has lived on forever. And I'm afraid always will.
If you go back and watch that, the best part about it's horrible but hilarious, is they pan to, because if people, when you watch a show, all of this is unscripted. There's no script there.
Yeah.
We don't have any script in front of us. I think people don't realize that. And they pan over to Randy Ollis, who's eating a banana while you are being attacked by a baboon, which is like, which is the comic relief because we're like worried about you. But then you pan over to Randy and he's just like eating a banana like nothing's even happening.
I tell you, most traumatic moment ever in television history for me. And I did it almost 20 years. That I had a feeling you might dig that up.
Like it wasn't hard. It wasn't hard to, but you've handled yourself so well, and I had to give you your props for that because, like I said, I would have been out the back door. They wouldn't have seen me for the rest of the show probably because I would have been actually petrified. But that's what live TV is, and that's what Life.Style.Live is. Literally in the moment, being active in that moment, and it's not about being the most perfect version of yourself, but being authentic in that moment, even when they're crazy moments like that, which just wild animals doing wild animal things.
Just doing what animals do. And you're right. And that is the beauty of live TV. I mean, no matter how polished, what you've been through, what you've experienced, there's always that opportunity for real reaction. And I think to this day, people still respond to that. They still like it. It comes into your living room. It comes into your kitchen. And yes, that was a very authentic moment. for
It
me.
was.
Yeah.
You started something here in the team here, including Peggy, who I love dearly so much and has just been
Yeah. Tell me this.
phenomenal in this industry, especially as like a woman in the industry and making your way through there. You're the first female host and the current female host right now. What is that like to know that you left a legacy, and I have to thank you left a legacy for me to be able to walk into by starting this show. Do you ever sit back and think, oh my God, I started something that is lasting beyond my time there and it's continued to grow? That seed has grown.
Hmm. I'm glad you put it out there in that manner, because what's interesting, when your producer reached out to me, Peter, and he says, "Hey, we're celebrating 15 years." I was like, "Oh my gosh." Well, that makes sense. I was 30 when I got that job. Simple math, 45 now. And I think when I look back, it's not necessarily what I was able to create, but I think it was the opportunities that I was afforded. One of my favorite interviews, I remember speaking to Madeleine Albright, former Secretary of State, twice, Mike Tyson. There were just so many. And one of my favorite guests, and we lost him in 2020, was John Andretti. He was a regular on the show, and losing him untimely to cancer was just horrific. But I think, we got a front row seat to what went on in Indianapolis. And I loved every minute of it. To this day, when I reflect back on my television career, the highlight is always Indianapolis.
That is incredible. So what's going on with you now? Like, folks of the fans of the show have been watching for the entire 15 years. Want to know, like, where you at? But number one, you look great, girl. You look good.
Well, thank you.
I said, wow, beautiful.
Modern medicine. But what I'm doing now, so it's interesting. I live in Colorado, and I work for Gravina's Window Center of Littleton as the marketing operations manager. So I help facilitate their television commercials, their radio commercials. They're their number one Infinity from Marvin, a window dealer in the state of Colorado. So we get a lot of accolades and awards for that. My hobby is Mustangs. So I adopted a wild horse 4 years ago. And she's under saddle, and we ride almost every day. So, it sounds a little bit like I just retired from TV after Washington, D.C. I was like, I'm going to just get out of television, and I've had opportunities to go back, but I've chosen to reflect on that and enjoy what it was and do something else moving forward. But, it's life is good. It's 70 and sunny right here, right now. I don't know what you guys have in your neck of the woods, but
it's good this week. We're doing really good as far as temperature wise. So we're about in the 70s as well. But it gets cold out here. You know it.
Listen, I know how Indiana goes, and you don't like the weather. Wait 5 minutes. It's going to change as well. But you guys do have that humid summer that will be coming.
I'm excited for it. Listen, Andi, if you ever decide you're going to come and visit Indianapolis, you know that you always, always have a home here at Lifestyle Live. And again, I have to give you your flowers and thank you for what you contributed, what Tracy contributed at the beginning of this show. That's been plant the seed for what Cody and I get to do today, every single day. And I get to live my dream. And that's because a woman like you came before me. So I want to thank you so much for that.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, Felicia. And you're doing a beautiful job carrying that torch. And I hope they have you a number of years moving forward. So thank you so much.
Thank you. So hopefully we'll be here celebrating 20 years in the next 5 years soon.
Hey girl, give me a shout.
Absolutely. Andi, thank you so much for laying that foundation again. We're going to have more information on Andi and all the great things that she's doing and the contribution that she has made to this amazing show that I get the privilege to do every single day over on our website, Life.Style.Live. Thank you again, Andi.
Amazing. My pleasure. Take care.
No, I genuinely mean that. And I understand that it doesn't get to happen for a lot of us until someone shows the next person, she can do this, she can handle this, and I also have, like Patty Spitler, and I have, Debbie Knox to look up to, and, all these amazing women that really laid the groundwork. And I am the first female host of color for this show. And so I'm just really hoping that we continue to lay that legacy along the way, and that, there's a sisterhood in it, and I'm happy to be in that sisterhood.
There is. And it's like, even though I chose to get out of television, my heart still will always be there. But I tell you what, I make a lot more money now and my heart
Girl, well,
will
tell
always
me
be
how you
there.
do that because
So,
I'm just over here just clipping coupons and stuff.
well, I remember those days. And so now it's funny, like I'm spearheading this effort to get us into 3 area Costco's. So I'm just like, but here's the thing, Felicia, the skills and the fortitude and the communication that you learn in this, take it anywhere. Just, I just was like, well, I'll do windows. There's a big margin. You make a lot of money. Let's do it. And just, have my horses and be done.
Listen,
So,
yeah, I'm right there. My aspirations. Well, Tamron Hall is my absolute hero of all time, and I aspire to be like her as I continue in my career. But I understand, and I actually have a business where I do consultations for people who are trying to get in the industry and young people. And Andy, I don't make no money off of that because I'm so tenderhearted that they pay me for the consultation and I send them their money back just because I want them to know that they're serious and not wasting any of my time. So I usually I don't make any money doing that, but I enjoy it. I love it. And I know that there's more in that. And I realize that, in about 20 years are probably going to put me out to pasture like old Yeller.
they do. I know. They're like, go and get.
Although Cam Elliott is back, she's doing freelance anchoring for us.
Really?
So she's
Oh my God.
here
Well,
on
I think
desk.
maybe now there's novelty in it. They're like, hey, this old anchor, she still looks all right. And well, I should probably do it for a lot less money now.
Well,
Bring her.
and guess what? She
They're
can still
bored.
read. She can still read out loud to the class. How about
Tell you
that?
what, that's what it's about, man.
Andy,
Anyway, I
it
was
has
never
been
that
an
good.
absolute pleasure getting to talk to you. I really
Oh man,
appreciate
what a
it.
pleasure.
I'm gonna if it's okay with you, I'll get Phil to text you my number and
Oh yeah,
connect.
thank
And if
you.
you and when you come back to Indy, if you're ever out here for any reason, please do visit us. I think the fans
I
of the show would
will.
absolutely love that. And
You would be shocked at how many viewers are still follow me on social media.
they are ride or die in India.
Yeah.
I was in South Bend before this as the morning weekend anchor and like
Okay.
3-day reporter. I
Yeah.
still have people reaching out to me to this day from being in
Yeah.
South Bend, and
Yeah.
that was like a year ago that I left South Bend.
Listen, they will be with you for the next 20 years. I mean, it is insane. And and it was people who were regulars on the show. I mean, I'm still friends with, but then it was also just your average viewer because I always interacted with
Same,
everybody. And so
same.
many of them are still like, we miss you in Indy. And I was like, that was 15
It's
years
crazy.
ago.
Well, I don't have any kids and I'm not married yet. So a lot of my free time I give to doing things like Boys and Girls Clubs. I was a Boys and Girls Club kid. I have mentees.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of like
Nice.
out in the community a lot, or I try to be with the time that I have right now. Cause I know eventually, like in the next 10 years, I'll be tired.
Yeah. Oh,
I give a lot to other people. I have to give it while I have it to give. So
it's true. It's true because no matter how tough and how driven, there's a
there's a cap.
expiration
I'm a
date.
human being. I'm a person.
Yes.
I try to make sure that when I'm on air that I share things that show that like I'm not perfect. Like I share about like my grief journey. I lost my brother like about 5 years ago, and I try to share about that, and I try to just make sure that people understand that like it's not a place you have to come to be perfect. You just have to be your authentic self, have
Mm-mm.
a good time with
And
it.
that goes further than anything, being real.
Yeah,
It's further
absolutely.
than anything. I learned that.
But
So,
thank you so much because I hugged I hugged Peggy that day and I was like, thank you for creating this show that I get to like live my dream on. And so I'm just really grateful for you too because I know that without Andi Hauser, there's not a Felicia Michelle. So
well, and Peggy picked me. So I'll give her credit there and I appreciate her. Tell her I said hello. I haven't talked to
oh,
her.
I will. I'm if I can catch her because she's on skates. Peggy lives on skates. I'm like, you don't even have
Listen,
feet. You have skates. She's 74 and she's still moving around this
is she
building like
74? Well, yeah,
she just
I
had her
guess
74th
so.
birthday like a couple weeks ago, and she is still just. I'm like, you got an engine. You have an engine in your back or something. You like
Oh yeah. No, she's
rolling.
always just, I mean, zipping around the station like a wild woman. You're like, well, we call her bottle rockets, what we called her behind her back. You can tell her there now. That was bottle rocket.
She is the best. Andy, you're awesome. You look amazing.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate
Okay.
it. So do you. So,
Thank you.
hold on to
Appreciate
that youth as long as you can, but moisturize, make sure that you take care
I
of yourself.
am,
Look like
I'm
you have a
taking it more
routine.
seriously now because we wear a lot
Yeah.
of makeup in this industry. So I don't wear
Yeah.
makeup when I'm not on air.
Yeah.
and I moisturize a lot. And I
Yeah.
thank God for my mother, who I look like, and not my dad. And my mom has really
Amen.
great skin, so I'm really
Amen.
blessed in
Yeah,
that.
no, you look beautiful.
Amen.
You got a lot of good years ahead of you. Your energy might wear out before your face will. So you're lucky.
Thanks. Well, that's what Celsius is for. I'll get that energy back. I'll figure it
Shoot,
out.
that's right.
Thank you, Andy, for making the time. I
My
really
pleasure. You
appreciate
take
you.
care, hon.
Sure, we'll talk soon. All right, bye.
See you soon. Bye-bye.
Life.Style.Live. Life.Style.Live.
Happy birthday to us. Join us celebrating lifestyle every day with great food, interviews, and dynamic guests. Be sure to tune into Lifestyle Live every weekday starting at 10 a.m.
From the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the Lifestyle Live Podcast. Thank you for listening. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe to this podcast wherever you get your podcasts. And connect for even more on Facebook and at lifestylelive.tv.
Faces you know and a team you can trust. Stories that form your heart. Life